So can today's enterprises survive with their current operating models? The way I would answer that question is, what is their current operating model? Those enterprises that are already on a path to change their old operating model to the new, I think are going to thrive, not just survive. On the other hand, there are enterprises that are still caught and stuck in their old operating model. They will be in trouble. So what is the difference? The difference is, first of all, are they trying to do everything themselves? The reality is the world is changing on technology so rapidly, and the speed of that change is impossible for an enterprise to keep pace with. The second is technology is available all over, all kinds of great technologies, all kinds of great AI and machine learning capabilities. Do you know how to bring that in and use it? Are you going to be able as an enterprise to be able to do that for all technologies? How can one enterprise learn all technologies and the use of all technologies? Therefore, the need for partners, the need to bring them in, choose your partners based on their understanding of your business, understanding of your data, and then understanding of the use of that technology. And then the ability to work with a group of partners and the partners to work with each other, which means culturally aligned, goal aligned, all of those become important. And the last thing I'll say is, an enterprise that finds it difficult to drive change is therefore going to find it very hard to survive. At the core of all of this is, do you have the capability as an organization to drive change? Do you have a set of people who love that they are asked to change every day? You have to have people who love change. Anyone who resists change is going to have a problem. The world that we are in is a highly networked world. I think we'll all agree with that. Information flow is instantaneous. The way to think about it metaphorically is, think about the fact that in that interconnected, fully networked world, any change that happens anywhere in the world on any topic is felt by everyone in the world. So the best analogy for this is tremors and earthquakes. I don't know how many of us know that there are about 100 earthquakes and tremors that are felt somewhere in the world every day, if you count all of them across the globe. A lot of them are felt under the sea in the Pacific and in the Atlantic, but some of them are felt in actual countries. In the old world, those tremors were felt only in the area where it was felt. But what if you have such an interconnected world that an earthquake in Fiji Island is felt in London? Which means every day you're going to feel 100 earthquakes. That's the world we are in. Every change is going to be felt everywhere simultaneously by everyone, which means you're going to constantly feel change requirement. You're going to constantly feel volatility and tremors. You can't predict those. So what do? You're going to prepare yourself for what happens if I feel this. What happens if I feel that? What happens if demand changes like this? What happens if supply in this part of the supply chain gets broken? What happens if the regulator passes a new regulation? And then create plans for response, and then respond with agility. So agility becomes incredibly important. Being connected in that connected world, because if you're disconnected, you miss the information. And you're going to feel the tremor without even ever having got a warning. But if you're connected, you'll get a warning. Maybe it's just 1 second before the actual tremor, which means you need really strong sensor and signal detection capabilities. You've got to be constantly talking to the environment. You've got to talk to partners. You've got to talk to the ecosystem. You've got to talk to your customers. You've got to talk to your employees who are actually in the middle of transactions. So agility, responsiveness, multiple scenario plans, and constant sensing with a diverse group of people, because different people hear things differently. And if you have that diverse group of people, then someone has heard something that other people haven't. And then you bring that information in and then respond. That's the way I would think about it. I love HFS events because of, first of all, Phil stands up on stage and talks about where he thinks the world is going based on all the research and the conversations that your team has and his team has across a broad group of enterprises, across a broad group of buyers, across a broad group of industries and global. And then synthesizing all of that and saying, this is where we think the world is going. And I always find in these events, as well as in HFS, the ability to pick up a signal that could be very weak, But that signal is picked up, and then Phil and the team manages to find a way to amplify it and say, this means something, watch out. That's exactly what I described in the tremor case. So attending something like this, I pick up signals based on the signals that HFS has picked up and Phil has picked up and the team has picked up that gets amplified, and I go back and say, I need to think about this more. And then I respond, or I create responses to get ready.